Welcome back to the Starbase Indy podcast, where we talk to and about people who are inspired by Star Trek or science fiction to work towards hopeful futures in the real world. I am here with Ryan Howe, this year's Con Chair. So, Ryan, let's start by having you introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ryan Howe. I'm Con Chair for this year's Starbase Indy 2025. It's going to be a fabulous time. For those of you who don't know me or haven't seen me around Starbase Indy, I've come with a lot of experience and love for Starbase Indy. I started out like many of you, basically as a invite from a friend, and it got me curious. I'm a lifelong Star Trek fan. I wanted to learn more and see more, and I volunteered as a room counter, got my humble starts in that, to where I graduated to stage managing assistant for the next couple of years. I eventually became hotel liaison for Starbase Indy before transitioning to and being part of a board, as well as now Con Chair for this year's event.
Yeah. What was your first Starbase Indy?
Oh, man. Was it, and being all things resident archivist, but I want to say it was the year the bridge was battle damaged, or maybe the year before that.
So the year it was battle damaged was 2018. Do you remember who the guests were?
No, they are starting to run together, to be quite honest.
Okay, they do, don't they? Yeah, absolutely.
I want to say my second or third year was when John Billingsley and Bonnie were there.
Well, I don't think they've been here since 2017.
Right.
So you were before the battle damage started. Excellent. So what are you excited about for this year's Starbase Indy?
I'm excited for two main reasons. Number one, I'm excited because anytime we get our Starbase Indy family together, it's always a fun event. I think it's one of those places that's desperately needed for people to come and just celebrate being one big family and come together and enjoying that moment. I think a lot of people like that sense of connection, that belonging, and I'm very excited to put on the convention this year because of that reason. I'm also excited because this year we have, I think, a healthy mix of first-time Starbase Indy guests as well as some veteran Starbase Indy guests that I think will truly make this convention very exciting for everybody.
So talk more about that. Tell us about the guests that you've brought in.
Well, I would love to do that, yes. So we do have some familiar faces, as I said before. However, some people are new. We'll start by our main guest and our guest of honor, Elisa Wilcox. Many people may know her as Yuta from The Vengeance Factor, in which she's played the assassin. Also had kind of a little side thing with Riker. I mean, who doesn't, right? But she is actually a person who I'm very interested for people to hear about, because not only has she acted in Star Trek and so her Star Trek footprints, however, her story I think a lot of people can relate to, because she was able to start in acting very young, and she actually started in a few horror films, as well as she's been sci-fi, she's done humor, she's done it all. But then she got away from acting for a hot second to help raise her family. And she actually took a job in business, and now she's back returning from acting full time. She's even currently in some projects that are ongoing. I can't wait to see her. Wait to hear her story, as well as find out what she's got coming out, because it sounds like she's staying busy for sure. That's a guest of honor. And we also have James Branford Houston, who both these are first-time guests to us, and he does a Winter of Empires, which is going to be an interesting kind of, he describes it as an interesting mashup between Star Trek and Star Wars, very much the vein of Demetrius Witherspoon. So we actually have him and Demetrius coming together on a panel, and he's also going to screen some of his movies as well to their Starbase Indy. So we're very excited to have him as a first-time guest. And then a first-time guest as well, not really a first-time guest, but first time this iteration we have is a 3POs. And many of you may see some that recognize a few familiar faces from the shakeups, as well as there's one member of 5-Year Mission. But we're very excited about them. Let me tell you, if you have not seen their act, they're phenomenal. They dress up in all Star Wars garb. They do Star Wars themed songs based off of classic songs. They're all parodies, and they have a video screen behind them. And it's a wonderful, wonderful time. Like I said, if you like the shakeups, you like 5-Year Mission, you'll definitely enjoy those people, their first events. And then we also have first-time guest Red Rum Band. were supposed to actually be with us last year, but had just some personal things going on and couldn't make it. But we're glad to welcome them this year. And they are a comedy pirate act who sings traditional as well as natural songs and also do some parodies. And so I can't wait to see what they're going to bring to the table for us for this event. So it's a little bit of our first time guests. Oh, we also have, I can't forget our cosplayers too. We have, because we have, I believe Darrell is a first time guest as well too, joining our cosplay track, consisting of Mogshell and Night Mage. And so we're glad to have him and can't wait to hear more of his story as well too, because he's got his hands a lot. Reading his biography, I don't know if you guys seen it online at Starbase Indy, but the man is seems like he's constantly just busy doing a lot of things that are in cosplay.
Yeah, he'll have his coloring book at the show and probably his card game and then of course some of his cosplays. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, we've
Yep.
really just brought cosplay back the last couple of years. Why did you choose to have that this year?
Good question. I think when it comes to the cosplay community, I think it's so intertwined with Starbase Indy, and what we're about is trying to celebrate all things to all people. People love cosplay. They love dressing up, not only as some people as their favorite characters, but as in some ways, expression of themselves or of people they probably never be in real life. And so we want to make sure we have that safe space where people feel welcome to do that. And we also want to celebrate the accomplishment because let me tell you, I've seen a lot of what these cosplayers do, even at the amateur level, all the way to pro. And I know you've seen it too, Lisa.
Absolutely.
But it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And the time and effort some of these people take into cosplaying, even basic cosplay, is always phenomenal. I mean, and I think it also help adds the atmosphere of our convention. I always enjoy it when I feel like I'm not in a hotel, but feeling like I'm more at another place, another time where we can celebrate these accomplishments because it's a skill, and not a skill, it's an art. And so Starbase Indy, I think, is a place where we should celebrate and recognize that art form and that skill.
Absolutely. We have a lot of creators that come. We have a whole writing track this year. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So this year we have a writing track. Also, one thing I'm very excited about, and so go out to Starbase Indy to learn more about this. We will have it at the convention, but you also can purchase yours for pre-order right now. We have our first ever Starbase anthology. And I got to tell you, one of the privileges about being Con Chair and sharing some information to the board is the fact that myself and the board has got to see some of the stories in advance. And I've got a PDF file about them, and we even get, I think we have to choose giving away awards for some of the writers at the convention. But if you like good stories about alternate realities, it's basically the anthology is going to cover stories, sci-fi stories, or any type of story that basically fits the theme of this year, which is Beyond the Stars, which is all about alternate universes, mirror universes. And so it has poetry in it. It has short stories in it. And we're going to have all the authors there where you get a chance to meet them. You'll have a chance to get your photo with them. You have a chance to get your anthology signed if you want that. And they'll also be on an author's panel and author's track to help talk and share with them some of their inspiration about writing, what they thought about, and there'll be a chance for a wonderful Q&A time with the authors of this great anthology series.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I have been interviewing some of the authors for the episode of this podcast that will come out in a couple of weeks. And so I had to read the stories to be able to do the interviews.
Of course, right?
Yeah, and they're really phenomenal. Yeah, Mary and Diane did an amazing job putting that together. So really a great addition to sort of the Starbase Indy tradition.
And the cover, I think, oh man, let me talk about the cover of the anthology. If you haven't seen it, which I think you've seen it.
Yeah, it's on the website. It's out there in the store for sure.
Right. Yeah. So Amber did the cover for it. She was asked to do the cover for it, and it is excellent artwork just in itself. And I can't wait to see it in actual physical form. And also, for those of people that don't like physical things, there will be a chance to order this in an online version.
As an ebook, right? Yeah.
Right, it's an ebook. However, the ebook will not be available until the 28th, so I think the day of the convention or something like that. but you can also order it that way as well too. And that's something we talked about, and I was very adamant about. We're also trying to get a audiobook form of it.
Hmm.
However, that's something we want to cover down the road potentially. But if there's enough demand, we'll definitely take a look at it and see what we can do.
One of the things I love about this collaboration with Dragon's Edge Press, which is the publishing company that is putting this anthology out, is it is local people.
Mhm.
Mary Bischoff, who has been involved in Starbase Indy since forever, longer than me, and I've been doing it 20 years, and has moved into writing and publishing. And so she had this idea to bring that to Starbase Indy and make it a part of an expansion of our community, right? We've always had writers, we've always had great thinkers at our event. I love that we're putting together stories, really well written stories about ways the world might be different. And it just feels a lot to me like an expansion of our mission. I like it.
Yeah, and she not only came to Starbase Indy because she has a love for Starbase Indy, but she also came with us the idea as an eventual launching pad to eventually take the anthology concept and take it to other conventions and have them do the exact same thing. However, she loves Starbase Indy. She wanted to partner with us to find a way to partner with us. And so not only is the first Starbase Indy anthology, but it's also going to be the first ever in the Dragon Edge Press line. Hopefully a more
Right.
anthologies to come, not only with Starbase Indy, but maybe with other conventions down the road as well too. So it truly is something that's unique. Truly
Hmm.
something I think is unique to Starbase Indy this year. And I think it's definitely a time for celebration. And as you mentioned, as always, any chance we get to help promote local homegrown talent at Starbase Indy is, I think, a win-win.
Yeah, and we've had some really great successes over the last decade or so. We were the first place that 5 Year Mission played.
Mhm.
We were, I believe, the first costume contest that Mog Shell ran back more than 15 years ago. And then she went on to, do this for places like Gen Con. So I love when we have the chance to work with people and be um, a place where they can use as a jumping off board.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly. There's so much talent out there. I mean,
absolutely.
so much talent, so many artists, so many creative people out there. And it's just wonderful to see how many ideas people can come with. And one thing I can say about being con chair is there's no shortage of ideas.
Hmm.
Probably no shortage of ideas and not enough time, really, is the kind of story about being con chair. But the
Yep,
good news
yep.
is, we take some of those, like the anthology and like first time guest and other things we do, like bring the con suite back, the cosplay track, and we try and listen to feedback of people and give them what they want and gradually add new things as we go. And the good news is, we inherit that legacy and pass that legacy down on to other con chairs who can then sprinkle that in as they feel necessary to their convention and the future Starbase Indies.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all community based.
Mhm.
And when people have ideas, they can do what Mary did and say, "Hey, I think we should," which is a whole lot more effective than, "Hey, I think you should," right?
Yeah,
Because we all have more ideas than we can implement.
exactly.
So, speaking of being con chair, what have you learned? What has this experience taught you?
Wow, how much time do you got?
We usually cap at about an hour, so yeah,
Okay,
we have
okay.
some
Well,
time.
so this experience has been a tremendous experience. It has taken me out of my comfort zone and stretched me in very positive ways. It's got me out of my comfort zone. One of the things I think people who are involved in our ComCom meetings know is we had the privilege of getting to open up our house to guests and have our ComCom meetings at our house, which is kind of a change in how we did ComCom meetings in the past, but it's something that my wife and I tremendously love, enjoyed, hosting the event. We enjoy having our meetings there. We enjoy getting to know the staff and people who are coming to help out Starbase Indy and provide their knowledge expertise to help run Starbase Indy. So that's something that has been interesting and definitely fun on my end. In addition to this, it stretched me in things I never thought I'd get my hand into, but I love getting my hand into. And it turns out I'm like, yeah, I like this. Things like web design, and just the big picture thinking of what it takes to put on a convention, no matter what size. compared to, the bigger conventions like Gen Con,
Right, right.
and all those conventions. I mean, we're very small, but we still have a lot of moving parts. And to be able to learn how all those independent parts work and go together to help form this thing we call a convention, that we love, has just been an interesting experience. And also, I think we stand on the shoulders of people who have really, for the most part, done a lot of heavy lifting for us. And that has helped this job in a lot of ways. And so I'm very blessed to have the Science Council, which a lot of people don't know about our board, but they actually consist of former con chairs who I'm able to go as con chair and say, hey, I know you're not con chair. What would you do in this situation? Or can I run something by you? And they're always wonderful people. They always are there to be able to lend an ear and provide advice or provide feedback or give me feedback about the direction of the convention and where we're headed. And that's something I truly appreciate. And it's been a lot of those people, the Kim Huffs of the world, who have built this thing from just a dream to what is today. It's something I don't take lightly as far as trying to carry on this grand tradition of Starbase Indy. And I know the tradition will far outlast me and you. But
That's the hope.
it
Yeah,
is, yeah.
absolutely.
But it's definitely is something that is definitely a humbling experience for sure. And in some ways, it's kind of humbled me a lot to know that, okay, it's not just one person can put on a convention. It takes a village to put on a convention.
Mm-hmm.
And number one, number two, it's not as easy as a lot of people think it is, and that's my call out to action. If you have suggestions, if you want to improve Starbase Indy in any way, shape, or form, we definitely put a call out. Volunteer. We're still taking volunteers to Starbase Indy's website. Get involved. If you don't want to volunteer, get involved some way, shape, or form. Ask one of the staff how you can help. Run for board. And last but not least, if you have enough experience, once you have another experience developed, you think you can sit in the big chair, apply to be con chair. Because it truly, Lucy, I think being a former con chair, it's definitely a unique experience. But it's a very satisfying experience too.
It is a unique experience. It is more than people think it is a lot of times, but it's a chance to build something, to lead the creation of something that we put out in the world as an experience for people. What has most surprised you the most about this experience?
Has most surprised me. So two things, I think. Number one, the resource we have on our team here, because there's a lot of people who you think you may know as far as talents they may have or things they maybe will do. In this position, I've been gifted to find out many, many talents that people have across the board and trying to flourish them and trying to make them, help them out in order to bring forth those talents they have, their natural born talents. Even to some extent, maybe pushing people to help grow. People that may have a talent or may have an inkling for a talent but don't know it, and just kind of mudge them right place, and give them some love to make sure that, that they know that they're okay, they'll be okay, but to help give them new experience and help try something different, new that they may like. The other thing is the guests. It's been a lot of fun a journey for sure, because everybody always mentions, well, get the big names out there, can you do this? Well, yeah, there's something called a budget, unfortunately we have to adhere to, but it's been a tremendous process about arriving at the guests we have. I wish I could have all of them. I think it would be all great, but we can't. But we got a running list of guests and people we can always go to for Starbase Indies. Just been talking to those people, and many of the guests are very down to earth. Even guests we were looking at that we could not have for Starbase Indy this year, unfortunately. Many of them are down to earth. Many of them are normal people. Many of them have a love for Star Trek and a love for small fan-run conventions like Star Trek, like Starbase Indy. As a matter of fact, Lisa Wilcox, I got a chance to talk with her personally, which is not something you get to do every day, as far as a celebrity or guest. And she even told me she was excited to hear that we're a Star Trek convention, and she's being invited to speak at a Star Trek convention because she normally goes to horror conventions, and she lives in Las Vegas, so she's been invited to go to the convention in Las Vegas. But that's the only Star Trek thing she's done outside of now Starbase Indy.
Yeah, I think she will find us a very different atmosphere than horror convention.
I'm sure she will, but I'm sure she loves it. Matter of fact, I've sent her some pictures of our main bridge, and she freaked out over it. She could not believe it and how
We
awesome it
do have an outstanding bridge, and we'll have open mic times. If you feel like you need to get up on the bridge, we'll have chances for people to get their picture taken on the bridge.
It is very cool in person, and to be the person that actually says, I actually work main stage. One of the things we like, one of the things the guests love is the fact those turbo lift doors actually open
Hmm.
the old-fashioned way. We don't have them rigged yet, but the open old-fashioned way, and that's one of the things our guests love about the main stage bridge as well too, is the fact that they can walk through those doors, like it's turbo lift and walk out on the stage.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what else do you want people to know about your convention?
Just the fact that Starbase Indy is a place where we welcome all people. For those of you that are in Star Trek, you obviously know about EDIC, Invent Diversity, Infinite Combinations. And just because you haven't been to Starbase Indy before does not mean you're not welcome. As a matter of fact, it's quite the opposite. It means you're even more welcome.
Yeah.
And even though we are a Star Trek convention, we're also all things sci-fi, as well as we're a non-for-profit convention. So we do all things STEM education as well as humanities. And so I would challenge people, even though they might not be a Star Trek fan, to come to our convention and find one thing, at least one thing that they do not gravitate towards. One of the things we try to have a concerted effort to try to do is we try to make sure, because we're a small, family-run, family-friendly convention. And so we try to have everything for all people. Now, we don't want to dilute our convention, and that's not our goal. But at the same time, we want to make sure that people will come, they'll enjoy themselves, and they can at least find one thing or a couple of things that may gravitate to and will love. And that's the beauty of a small family-run convention. That, I believe, that people will have unprecedented access to guests. That's one thing that really blew me away when I first came to Starbase Indy was, the fact that most guests at a convention, you have to schedule photo ops for. You have to wait in line to get their autographs, and it's not the case here. They'll be at their tables. You'll be able to walk up to them, be able to talk with them, you'll be able to converse with them. We have Q&A sessions structured. However, even outside of that, they'll be
Hmm.
very approachable with respect, but they'll be very approachable. And we also have some time after the convention when the program is officially done. Um, were you able to maybe catch them at room parties or things like that and have sneak in a quick conversation with them? But they're very approachable, and that's one of the things I love about Starbase City as well too.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the things we're known for is they're not the biggest names, but character actors have the best stories. They have worked
Oh
with
yeah,
everybody, and yeah, absolutely.
and that's as we look for as well too in guests, right? Is we want to make sure everybody's like, want to get guests, want to get this guest. Well, we want to get every guest because they may not be a good fit for Starbase Indy. And what I mean by that
Hmm.
is we definitely look for guests who are approachable, who know what kind of convention they're getting into because it's not the same structure as other conventions. It's not the same mold as other conventions. And we want to make sure the guests are very personal with our attendees and they're aware of that going in. And they know that it's okay that they'll be approached. It's okay for people to approach them, and that we definitely want people who open mind that as part of being guests at our convention as well.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, kind of ticking through in my head some of the things that we haven't talked about yet that will be
Mhm.
there. We will have the gaming room, so we'll have some Magic the Gathering tournaments.
Absolutely. Yep.
And the Dominic Musoni runs those and does a great job and goes and finds prizes, and so that's always a lot of fun. I think we have several other games coming as well, so you can check that part out on the schedule. We, of course, have the vendor hall. So,
Yep.
and the nice thing about our vendor hall is we run over Small Business Saturday and Black Friday. But if you really, I know a lot of people who have decided this is the year they're going to try and focus their holiday spending on small creators or small businesses. And everybody in our vendor hall is a small business, right? We
Yep.
don't we just don't have enough people to get the big names out there, which is, a good thing and a bad thing.
Right.
But I'm going to call it a good thing because that's where we're at. But you have lots of great local creators that'll be out there. We will have a silent auction. Speaking of people who've run the event in the past, if any of you know the Sams, they have given us some amazing donations from their personal collection. So our auction will be phenomenal again because they dropped more totes off for us. What am I missing? We will have music, we'll have talks. Oh, and we'll have a lot of crafts. We've got the tribbles back. We've got some cool robotic stuff coming this year, interactive that you get to play with.
DJ Ray Schools will be back doing the dance. That seemed like a lot of people will also have karaoke.
Oh yeah.
By demand. I think we're going to go a little bit long with karaoke this year as well too. I don't know, but I know that was the main request from last year, and I can't see how we could turn that down as far as people want more karaoke.
I mean, absolutely.
We also have Moxie and Magnus back. Of course, she's a staple of Starbase Indy.
Yes.
I can't think of Starbase Indy without her. It's very much an institution of Starbase Indy, and so we'll have her coming back as well as Demetrius I mentioned earlier, and also we'll be having Starship Etzel back this year as well too. And for those of you who haven't seen Starship Etzel, do a wonderful job of, I call it a quasi improv. It's but it very much a quasi improv tribute love letter to Star Trek and the fact they're on this starship called Starship Etzel. And if you've not seen them, come and see them because they do a tremendous job.
And you can look them up. You can find them linked on our website, or you can just search them. They're theater out of Chicago. It's an ongoing improv, so there's some ongoing characters, but they also have some amazing writers working with them to move the story in sort of specified directions. I think the Starship Tempest folks are coming back too with their trivia contest.
Yes, they are.
Starship Tempest podcast, and the Star Podlog folks will be back.
Yep, they're doing.
They do an amazing job. Yeah,
they're coming back as panel and guest for us. They of course are a classic story of people who came, and correct me if I'm wrong, but came one time on a whim to Starbase, and they tell a story a lot better than I do, obviously. But I'm relaying it third party.
Well, people have to come hear it at the convention,
right? Yeah, but they've been a staple ever since, and they keep coming back, and they don't seek it out. But in recent years, we've definitely kind of put them more to the forefront because of their continual appreciation and support of Starbase Indy, because they've done a lot behind the scenes to help promote Starbase Indy.
Yeah, it's really what we've put together is the result of a big community of people who are all bringing the thing they love best and making it happen. All right, so anything else you want to share with our listeners before you get back to the work of Con Chair, given that we're doing setup 6 weeks from yesterday?
6 weeks? It might be 6 weeks. Yeah, I think it's 6 weeks.
But who's counting? We can always just go look at the website since Alan so helpfully put the counter there for us.
Well, I'm looking at front. As of this recording, we are. Let me try and see if I can get the homepage here. I try not to look at the website because it does have a countdown there.
We're excited about counting down, but there's so many things to do. Yes.
So first things first. Number one, if you've not gotten your badge, get your badge. We renamed the badge this year, so let me touch on this a little bit because some people have a lot of questions about this. Thanks for reminding me, or thanks for taking me down the train of thought. But we're renaming the badge the Ambassadors of Starbase Indy badge. And we're doing that for two reasons. Number one, because we want to recognize that the badge itself, one person can get a weekend badge. However, in many cases, a lot of people do get that badge as donations to Starbase Indy, showing their love for Starbase Indy. So we want to make sure that we recognize those people as true ambassadors to Starbase Indy, first and foremost. Second thing is, part of the reason why I decided to rename the badge this year is because we will be having some special items for those people that do elect to have that badge. However, one of the things we'll not be doing this year is Dinner with the Stars.
Right, yeah.
And that's a big shift this year for many reasons, but we're trying out this year to try and see how it works out. I believe we've got some great programming in place in lieu of Dinner with the Stars. I just want to make sure that people who are asking about Dinner with the Stars are aware that there is no Dinner with the Stars this year. However, there are incentives in the badge outside Dinner with the Stars that we will have available for people.
Yeah, and if people are curious about Dinner with the Stars, what we're doing instead is our food and beverage budget is going to go into our con suite.
Yes.
And that will support the anthology reception on Friday night. And it will support just people coming into the con suite and meeting new people and enjoying each other's company and having, being able to offer something a little more substantive there.
Right. And we made a decision as a group because we truly want to give back the attendees of Starbase Indy. And because, as you know, Lisa, we felt very important to have the con suite again this year because we reopened it last year. Some conventions are foregoing con suites because of the amount involved. When you look at the amount we could probably have put on for Dinner with Stars, we have like a few people. And like I said, it's a great event. Don't get me wrong. Dinner with Stars was fabulous. But we decided this year to put that money in more places where it can be a greater benefit to everybody as opposed to Dinner with Stars. And so we decided to move that to the con suite this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, get your badge. If you have not gotten your badge, there still is the Ambassador Starbase badge available as well too. So if you want that, check out our amazing, amazing t-shirts this year.
Yeah. And we're doing the t-shirts differently this year. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Great. Thanks for reminding me. So this year, we partner with a local, printer, who is an amazing artist, by the way. He has hands in various conventions, including VoltCon, another local convention, as well as a few other conventions across the United States. And he has a website we partner with for our t-shirts where he makes them locally and sends them out to people. So this year, if you order your t-shirt, I would say a week to a week ahead before the convention, it will be shipped to you. That
So
way
you can get it right now.
Yeah, that way you can get it right now. That way you won't have to worry about getting the convention, and you'll have it. You'll be able to wear it at convention first day out of the board. And we will have some shirts available there.
But a very limited supply, probably.
Correct. They're very limited supply. However, he will be there. And so you can order shirts directly from him there as well too. So we're not going to cap off t-shirt sales for the convention. It's not like you won't be able to get them since after the deadline.
You can pick them up after the convention as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, you'll be able to get them after the convention as well too. Yes. So the t-shirts themselves. Let me talk about this for a second, I can't do them justice. Go out. They're on our Starbase Indy webpage. Go to the link. You'll see them in full detail. And yeah. So we're doing t-shirts differently this year. And this is our staff t-shirt. And so every t-shirt is a different color designed as far as the original series uniform colors. So for those of you like uniform blue, you can check uniform blue. It has the Starbase insignia on the Delta shield right there in the front on the beautiful blue. And if you flip it over, it'll say Beyond the Stars, our theme this year, as well as Starbase Indy 2025. And it says staff, it's going to say not a doctor. And each shirt has its own saying related to the uniform color. So the red shirt has the same exact thing, only it says lucky red shirt. And the gold shirt, Command Golds, I believe it's boldly go or boldly go. One of those two.
Probably boldly go, yeah.
Yeah. And so those are the colors we're offering, and they're wonderful. They'll be shipped to your house.
So you go on the website, and there's a link on our website, and instead of ordering them from us, you order them from Book of Bilal, I think is the website. Yes. And, if you're on that website looking at it, you can see the green staff shirts. And if you get one of those and you're not staff, just know we'll ask you to do things.
Yeah.
So that's a warning.
Right. But yeah, these colors and that green, that turned out even better in the picture, I think.
I think they all will. They're really a phenomenal design. I think Amber did the design of the front of them as well. Yeah. So
Amber with the concept, and then Andy Alam, who is running our printing side of things for these t-shirts. He actually helped refine it a little bit. And he's actually the one who picked out the colors and material, the shirts and things like that. But yeah, she came up with the initial design, and so she's just been a tremendous person to have, and she's a wonderful, not only a wonderful individual, but also a very talented individual, especially when it comes to all things graphics extraordinaire. I mean, She's been
And
a
her
life.
writing as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
and that's the thing, and this is true of so many small fan-run conventions. You got a lot of creators involved in running the convention because we love them and we can't have them if someone doesn't run them, right?
Right. Yeah. So this is all going to be put out in a newsletter. So now I check it out on the podcast,
Mhm.
but also a newsletter will be coming out here this weekend. Highlighted T-shirts as well as the anthology and where you get those at, as well as I believe, should I say happy anniversary to a certain person? 70.
Oh, yeah, well, that the 75th episode came out last week.
All right.
Maybe the 76th. Yeah, we're up past 75 now.
So I know my stuff then pretty much. It sounds like I'm on the ball.
Yeah, yeah. And that what he's talking about is we've got about 75 episodes of the
Yeah.
Starbase Indy podcast out. Some of those were recorded at the live convention over the last 3 years. A lot of them are just one-on-one interviews with people who have spoken at Starbase or who have been involved in Star Trek, but we haven't been able to get them to the convention yet. So yeah.
Right. Lisa does a tremendous job of the podcasting. I mean, it's another need, I think, that brings a lot of added gravitas to Starbase Indy. It brings a lot of ability, not only in terms of the educational side of things. She's done a lot of work on that front to help fill grants and other things we have going on Starbase Indy, but also this is a tool to help keep Starbase Indy out there in the public eye and consciousness throughout the calendar years. A tremendous amount
I
of
just like talking to the fun people.
I know, yeah. But there's also a lot of work. I mean, to edit them and put them together. I mean, it is fun to talk to people, yeah, but like Con Chair, there's a lot of work goes into it that a lot of people don't see. And so I definitely want to recognize her for that because 75, have more than 75 under your belt is a true accomplishment, I think, there. And a true magician cannot reveal everything just yet. So
That's fair.
I'll say to quote a wonderful hologram who likes to sing, and maybe even a certain captain who our theme may be based off of, the best is yet to come.
All right. Well, that sounds like a great note to wrap up on. So thanks for taking the time to talk with me, Ryan. And in just a couple of weeks, I will see you on the Starbase.
Thanks for listening to the Starbase Indy podcast. To find more information about our live event this November, check us out at starbaseindy.org or on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. See you on the Starbase.